Yeah. Well, what's going on in the world of insurance today?
So many things.
You guys are busy.
We are busy, and Brad and I were in Hudson Oaks Monday, and we had something interesting come up. It didn't have anything to do with the Hudson Oaks office, but we were there when this happened.
Right. One of my clients sent over a referral, and the guy called and we chit-chatted, and it was very interesting. The conversation, it was, I'm overinsured, is what he told me. He goes, I'm the most insured person that anybody could be. I was like, cool. And we got to talking. He sent me his stuff, and I was looking over his stuff, and I got his certificate. You know, the little thing that tells you what type of insurance you had. And it really did look like he had everything until we looked at his policy. Turns out he had nothing.
Oh.
So a certificate of insurance is a actual form that's well known and used in the industry for commercial insurance policies, and it's basically a snapshot of the liability coverage that is in force at that time. And so that way, if I'm gonna hire somebody to work for my company, to a plumber, you know, and they don't have to send me all their policies, I can just get their certificate, and it'll show me who their agent is, what policies they have, their limits of liability, when they expire, all that stuff.
All the pertinent information for a contractor or a certificate holder to, verify to see if they have the correct stuff. But a lot of times there's either confusions or misrepresentations or just, I hate to say it, flat out lies on those certificates. So you got to be very, very careful when you're reading them, and also kind of verify.
Yeah, so this was a particular, person that was wanting insurance, and so Brad was able to explain to him, well, okay, your certificate says this, but that's not what you really have, because your policy has this, and so that's bad. Of course, as the policyholder, you should know the certificate's not for you. The certificate's for somebody you're going to work for.
Right.
You should have your policies and know what coverage you have, but of course, a lot of people don't. So we actually have, and she'll kill me for saying her name, but Amanda Delaney is one of her many, many jobs at Bryan Insurance. She issues our certificates of insurance, and she verifies everything. Now, there's always a possibility for a mistake. We do our very best at Bryan Insurance to not make those mistakes. But that's one of her, like I said, she wears a lot of hats, but that's one, is she makes sure that everyone that is sent out from Bryan Insurance properly represents what is in force at the time to the best of our ability. And that's, it's very important. It can cause a lot of trouble.
Do you see this more in like the trades, or is this across the board for any type of?
This is for insurance reason. This is across the board. There's a few people out there that will flat out just put what needs to be done to get the person on the job site.
Yeah.
And we're not saying that's all the time, but there are some out there. But now, for the most part, they are just misunderstandings. It's personal lines going to commercial. There's a big learning curve there, and misunderstandings because they're different policies. They're definitely different beasts. And so sometimes when you're reading a commercial policy, you kind of look at it and go, oh, wow, this sounds like they have any auto. This is everything they need. So they'll check the little box. They have any auto. Well, it turns out they don't.
And I think this one that we were looking at Monday, because we're not going to name the carrier. It's a carrier that usually writes personal auto. They probably don't write very much commercial auto, and I don't think that they purposely falsified the certificate, like Brad said. I think they just didn't know what it means. But it's a big deal, and again, the certificate's very important, and it represents what's going on. But as a client, as a person that has insurance, don't just look at that summary, that certificate. Really know what you have and ask questions. And if you don't get the answers that you need, then find a different agent that will help you, whatever it takes, but understand.
And if you're a certificate holder, if you're requesting these, don't take it on face value. Make sure you verify all that information is correct. And that's one of the major things, is because those certificates are there to protect you as well. They show what your contractors carry.
I guess we can tell about what will change enough of the details to protect the guilty or protect the innocent. But there was a situation with an agent that we knew, not here in town, wouldn't know him, that always, on a particular classification of business, always falsified their certificate. They knew they were doing it.
Oh.
They did it every time. There was a claim. We weren't involved, obviously, but where there was a claim that wasn't covered, and then that company that hired those subcontractors refused to take
Yeah.
insurance from those companies ever again.
Ooh.
So yeah, I mean, I guess you could do it as long as you can get away with it. It's against the law. And you
Well-
could lose your license for it, but I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah, it's not worth it just to get on the job when if something does come up and a claim needs to be made.
Yeah, and like we see an
They're gonna
agency.
check.
We have an agency. Well, we can write that coverage for half the price. Well, yes, because it's not the right coverage. Yeah, you can,
Right.
and until you get caught, go on with your
Yeah.
bad self. But we're not going to do that.
But the moment that the moment something comes up, check it.
My favorite one of the certificate issues was I had a few clients that they all got removed off the vendor list due to discrepancy on their insurance. So they came to us, and I was reviewing it, and I saw their auto policy had a symbol 1, and I'm always looking out for new companies that are willing to write symbol 1s. And so I call them up, I'm all excited, I'm talking to them, I'm like, yeah, I want to start representing you guys, I want to start selling your insurance, let's do this, give me an appointment. Y'all do symbol 1s? They go, no we don't.
No, we don't.
I go, I'm looking at like 5 certificates right here that all show the symbol. I gave them the policy numbers and everything, and they go, no,
Oh.
no, we don't do that. And it just turns out this one person was doing the same thing. They were just putting with a 789, but putting on their certificate that they had a symbol 1.
And I mean, the certificates, the forms have a disclaimer that this doesn't, the policy is where you need to go to find the right
Right.
information. But if somebody's purposely falsifying it, they're not going to get away with it. It's just not worth it. We also, a long time ago, also not somebody from Graham, had a client that altered a certificate that we had sent, but they weren't not very good at it, so it was really obvious. It would be like if I tried to alter, you could be like, ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
I'm not good at
Take this
that.
little wide out
Yeah.
here.
So all kinds
Why
of
are
stuff
these different
happens.
fonts?
But yeah, that was just, it's like you think you forget it happens, and then we find one. We'll go a long time without seeing it, and then here's a blatant example of one Monday.
Something interesting, kind of going down these lines. There are larger companies that will audit insurance agents. It happens all the time. We get audited at least once a week. So what they'll do is they'll draw up a certificate and they'll send out a request to the agent, say we need these forms, and you got to pull them and you got to send them. And if you don't, then they get pulled off the job site.
Yeah. Wow.
And it happens all the time.
Yeah. So you don't want to wait. You don't want to have that happen. You want to have, even if it may or may not cost you a little more, whatever. Make sure you have the right coverage. Make sure your agent's honest. Don't have an unpleasant surprise of getting pulled off a job site, or even worse, having a claim and
Right.
there's no coverage.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing, probably. So.
Well, how do folks get a hold of you guys if they have any questions?
Well, they can come see us on the second floor of Ciera Bank Building or call us at 940-549-2525.
Or 2950 Fort Worth Highway, Suite 500 in Hudson Oaks, 817-770-0096.
Or, I guess, visit us online at bryanins.com, Bryan with a Y.
Yes.
All right, awesome, guys. Hey, thanks for coming in. It's good to see you guys. Good luck with the puppy.
Thank you.
I'm so excited.
I'm too.
King James.
King James.
I cannot wait to see him. Awesome. Y'all have a great rest
Y'all
of your
too.
Wednesday.
Thank you.